Welcome to Trojans Live.
We're getting closer to game day and the debut of Snyder, your new special teams coordinator. He is not new to the profession, though. He grew up in it, and he has spent the past 26 years in Manhattan, Kansas, with Kansas State. Coach, welcome to the show. What's the adjustment been like? Maybe not a normal adjustment period coming to Los Angeles. I'm sure you're getting to see your home a lot more than you thought you would. But what's this year been like entering the Trojan family?
I tell you what, it's been great. The coaching staff here, Coach Helton, it's really been awesome. The players, it's been a great group of guys. Really enjoyed getting to know them and coach them. It's been an interesting year, obviously, for everybody as we sat out for a long time with the COVID and now just trying to get back in and getting going. And so the adjustment has been pretty much a rocky road, but it's smoothed out right now, so it's rolling pretty good.
Coach, as Jordan said, you've been doing this for a while at a high level. Have you ever had a 35-year-old punter before?
No, I'll tell you, this is the first time I've had a 35-year-old punter.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
35 is an unofficial stat.
Yeah, just in all seriousness, though, tell us about Ben Griffin and what kind of weapon he can be when you unleash that leg.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ben has been awesome to coach. He's really, we've gone through a couple of adjustments, just trying to clean up his consistency. He's had a really good week. Probably the last 5 days, his consistency has really picked up, and he's been very fluid with his swing. And it's all the whole group is a really good group. With Ben's age and his experience and what he's done, he can adjust to things really well and really quickly. So we don't have much of a learning curve. Typically you insert something new, the guy gets worse before he gets better, and we kind of bypass that with Ben. So I'm really excited about him. I think he's got such a high ceiling.
A lot of special teams coaches, coordinators were not specialists, and maybe even were not really experienced in special teams, and a lot of staffs treated differently. You were an elite punter in your time. How much does that inform you? How much technique are you teaching? I mean, you already mentioned you're working on an adjustment with Ben, as opposed to just the strategy and the mental side of it.
Oh yeah, with the punters, snappers, and kickers, yeah, we're going through and we've gone through a little bit of cleanup. It's been difficult because I don't like to do too much with a guy just before a season starts. So typically it's an out-of-season thing. So we had one day where I got him live in spring, and so I got a chance to see him live, and then I got a chance to give him some things over the course of time when we couldn't be around him. But I wasn't hands-on with him during that period of time because of NCAA rules. We weren't able to. So right now it's kind of been a mad rush. So the couple things we're tweaking are just little things with some of the guys, and we do have one that we're doing a little bit more with. But at the end of the day, they're all really good. They just where we need to make a bigger adjustments, those are gonna have to wait until spring because we got to get pretty solid and functional. And in all honesty, they've all, for the little stuff that we've done, have really. Across the board are all getting better.
We're here with Coach Snyder, the special teams coach, a USC coach. When you're looking for returners, what are some characteristics you're looking for? We've seen Stephen Carr back there a little bit, some Tyler Vaughn's back there. Are you kind of opening up that competition, and what do you look for in the return guys?
Really what we're looking for is when we get to punt return and kickoff return, a little bit two different things. But punt return, I'm looking for a guy that's obviously has speed. You look for that in both of them, but quickness, agility, and a guy that's got some lack of fear. Because obviously, you catch the ball with a bullet flying down at you. You got to have you got to have some
a little bit off, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. And so kickoff return, right there, we're looking for somebody with speed. Do need someone that's got some good agility and good vision. Just like what a running back would have running in traffic. So I'm looking for somebody that can see things coming in peripheral vision and maneuver through that. So those are a couple of things we're looking for.
Is there a kicking competition going on? Or, I mean, you mentioned Ben, a punting competition, or do you know the roles? Do you more or less have the roles set at this point?
Well, we're going to compete. Do I have a good idea where it's going to wind up? Yes. But in all fairness to all of them, I'm going to put the best guy on the field. And so if there's a sleeper in the group, and he's going to have an opportunity to get out there. So, right now we're trying to work with all of them and get them. We had one full week last week of work. We started practice Friday. So Friday, Saturday, this week we'll be doing quite a bit of charting this week. And then we'll kind of start putting guys in place, but we'll compete all the way up to game week. And, and that's what I want to see is I want to see their competitive nature. I want to see where they're going to put themselves when the heat's on, and I want to see how they respond to it.
Coach, when you're looking for players to go out on that special teams, it takes those guys that want to go a little bit extra, do a little more for the team. What kind of guys are you looking for? You typically lean on the starters? Do you want to see some backup guys make some plays? What kind of players are you looking for on that team?
It kind of goes the same thing. That the guys that are going to give, number one, the best effort, the guys are going to understand and pay attention to what they're supposed to be doing, which I think that's the majority of the team right now. I mean, they're really locked in, which I really appreciate. But I'll use starters, I'll use second stringers, I'll use third stringers. I mean, I've had a lot of variations. I've had some units that didn't have a starter on it, and so I just want the guys that are going to get out there and they're going to fly down the field. They're going to do what they're asked to do, and they're going to study some film on top of it. And to me, if a guy can get on the field and play fast, he's got a chance to be successful. If he's got to get out and over process a bunch of stuff, that's where he's going to struggle a little bit with the success.
You're listening to Sean Snyder, the new special teams coordinator for USC football, and as we mentioned, spent really most of his football life in Manhattan, Kansas, in your father's program, Bill Snyder. Always enjoyed watching Kansas State, and I'm just interested because you've spent most of your football life in this upstart program, trying to beat the Texases and the Oklahomas. Now you're on the sort of blue blood side. How do you take that edge that you got all those Kansas State guys to play with to beat Sean many years back
twice?
How do you get a school like USC to have that same edge that you guys had going to Kansas State?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple things that go into that, and at Kansas State, we always had a chip on our shoulder. And, one of the things, we did is we conditioned ourselves to the point of fourth quarter of a game, we were playing tough, and we played with a lot of mental clarity. And, you know how it is when you get tired and all of a sudden things get a little foggy and you're not reacting as quick as you want to be. Those were the things that really kind of helped carry us through some of the big games and playing the OUs and the Texases and fighting through that. On the other side of it here, we've got a defensive staff, a defensive coordinator that bring the same type of mentality that I like to coach with on special teams. I mean, I want guys to be tough, physical, and play fast. And that's the same thing that our defensive coaches, Coach Orlando, is instilling in our defense. And I think as we go through this, because, Coach Helton's really pushing that button as well. And I think the development as we get through and get the guys going, I think that's going to really help and contribute to the special teams and what we're trying to get out of it.
Coach, I was one of those special teams guys back in the day on a thing called the wedge that we used to have. Remember those things back in the day? Oh, yeah. The wedge, yeah. And I was also in those trenches with them field goals, man. I just wanted you to give a shout out, man, to those guys that don't get any love for battling and how hard it is to battle during a field goal or PAT with those big ugly guys in the middle just trying to kill each other, man. Give some love to those guys, right?
Oh, absolutely. That is a one. Those are the guys that make it all happen at the end of the day.
No one knows what's going on down there, man, Jordan. It gets ugly down there, buddy.
Yes, it does.
Are you going to tell that story about how you olayed the wedge several times because you wanted no part of it at the NFL level?
Oh, there was hired assassins in the NFL. Coach knows, man. Those guys go down there. They don't care about anything. You take your head off. I got out of the way a couple times, Coach.
Sean wanted to make sure he made it to that second contract. That was a business decision right there. All
there
right,
you go.
Coach, hey, we appreciate it. We welcome you to the Trojan family officially. Thanks for joining Trojans Live, and we're looking forward to that third phase of the game once the Trojans get out there on November 7th.